Welcome back to the Zero Check Podcast, episode 126. My name is Mike, and I'm joined, as always, by my amazing colleagues. Gentlemen, it's a privilege to know you. Have I told you that lately?
I don't know if I've ever been a colleague.
Well, you're my colleague, and it's a privilege to know you. It's a privilege.
Yeah, I like colleague better than cohort or accomplice.
Yeah.
I'm
you embiggen my life.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to embiggen anything.
Well,
Oh, goodness.
I mean, if I'm going to be a colleague, I feel like I got to put like leather patches on my elbows.
you're embiggening tweed.
Get you a nice tweed jacket.
A nice
I like that.
tweed. You know, I think you'll
Start
enjoy
smoking
your
a
new
totobacco
life.
pipe.
I was just saying, I could see Brad with a pipe in like probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Brad,
When
you
he's
could
a
make your
little
own
bit
pipe.
older.
Fucking crack pipe.
It's like fast forward 10 years, things have not gone well for Brad.
Become a method actor.
Oh, it's messed up.
Just sitting in Minnesota.
Up there in Mankato. Mankato got a big crack scene, Brad?
They have a scene. I don't know if it's a crack scene, but it's definitely something going on.
Did you guys have a lot of cheese up there in that cheese country?
That's Wisconsin.
That's Wisconsin.
We're just
What do you have there? What do you have? Maple
He's
syrup?
the land of lakes.
corn
The land
and
of lakes.
soybeans.
Corn and soybeans. Kansas is the largest beef producing state in the union. I learned that recently. Yes. Lots of cows.
You figured Texas would be in there.
It's Kansas. But I
Dodge
think
City.
Texas is up there. Yeah, lots of cows in Dodge City. Yeah. And we got a lot of wheat too. The breadbasket of the nation, just like the Sellen Hills may be the breadbasket of Shrikehaven. See what I did there? That's called.
Amazing.
Yes, thank you.
It's called a lead-in.
That's called a lead-in. That's or a dovetail. I've dovetailed over into the game. Gentlemen, colleagues, I'm switching over to colleagues. Colleagues, you're in the Sellen Hills. My gosh, you've just defeated a gigantic drake. I don't have an agenda. No agenda today. The agenda today is to bask in the cohortness of my colleagues. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
As long as we're going to enlarge something, that's fine.
Yeah.
Gross, whatever you said.
We're going to enlarge the lore of this game.
Biggin it or whatever.
Embiggen.
Yeah, I'm bigging it. That's it.
It's amazing how transparent it is when Mike hasn't prepped. I just want to throw that out there.
Hey now. Hey. Whoa.
You're like a high school kid who's writing his essay, that's due in first period on the bus to school.
To Kill a Mockingbird is a
we used
good
to do,
story.
It's about a bird
solos.
that they're trying to kill.
Mike, you would know
185
this. Chris, you would
pages.
know this. You were in band, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to get up and do solos in front of the class.
Yeah.
For part of your grade or whatever. And every year the same kid
Or a
got
chair
up and just,
test
like,
or a challenge. You're trying to challenge for a better seat.
This kid would just get up and start fucking jazz solo freestyle for like 20 minutes. And we'd all be like reading the music going, what the fuck are you playing, bro? But he would pass every year. So I guess that worked.
It's been 2 years since I admitted last that I was a music major for quite a while in undergrad before.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, it just didn't pan out. We all have our dreams. My dream was to play music.
Mike, you can still play music.
No, I cannot. No, I'm rusty. I can't do it. You're not going to see me buzzing a reed.
Should I send you an oboe?
No. I was a clarinet player. Yeah.
Clarinet.
No.
That's like, damn, why can I never remember that?
I don't know, but no, I put the clarinet in my mouth not too long ago, and it made me cringe to. I didn't like the vibration. It didn't feel good inside. I didn't like.
You
I
lost
can't do
your
it anymore.
chops.
Yeah, I got no chops. I got
No
nothing.
embouchure.
No, yeah,
The number of your read was so wrong for where you're at now.
I know I can't play on those fours anymore, and I'm not going to buy any other reeds. But I know it's over. But I've moved on. I'm just going to have to be satisfied with my colleagues here on this channel. But enough about me. Enough about me. It's time for me to stop running from who I am. Who I am is the GM of this podcast, fellas. You're in the Sellen Hills. You killed the drake. You're standing around. You're not sure what to do. You're in the forest. And Rundell comes up to the King Sertova, and he goes, "Boss, Chief, is it always like this?"
It's always like this, but apparently you don't have to drop your shield. No, I'm kidding. No, so yeah, this is the first time we've really taken Rundell out adventuring. He's just been like town guard advisor stuff for the past 5 years. Mm-hmm. And we're like, yeah, this isn't like Brevoy proper out here in the Stolen Lands, it's, it's untamed. That's just kind of how it is. We've never fought a dragon before, so that was new.
Oh, can I talk to you about the dragon for a second? Remember when I shared my feelings?
Yeah.
Well, I often share my feelings with you guys, which, by the way, I've noticed you guys don't share your feelings, but you don't reciprocate, but that's fine. I shared my feelings.
I always shared my feelings before we started recording.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Well, should we talk about how you're doing? Are you doing okay, Brad?
I'm better now. Yeah, I got it off my chest.
What? Oh, yes. Right. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, he did.
And you know what? That's healthy. That's healthy. That's what a colleague does for another colleague. Is that healthy environment?
Was a tie-in or what's the one a callback?
It's callback. That's called the good old callback. Look, my feelings. Okay. How many dragons have I run for you guys?
Two.
Two? Was it the beginner box or was that the
beginner
troubles?
box, that green drake?
I did a green drake at the climax of the beginner box. Spoiler alert after the fact. Sorry, everybody. And then I did this drake. And I feel like maybe I've done others too, but maybe not for this group. I think maybe I did a drake or two in my Ages of Ashes campaign. But here are my feelings on drakes and dragons. I feel like I always fuck them up. I feel like it's such a privilege to run a dragon, and I always fuck up the dragon and I always make the dragon land on the ground, and I don't know why I do it.
He lands on the ground to finish off the spellcaster is what he does.
I don't know why I do that.
That Drake landed, and we did everything we could to keep him there.
Yeah,
like Bill crit him, pinned him to the ground. Like we had him surrounded. It's like, you're done. That's... Yeah.
That's kind of what we do for all the single bosses. Like I especially remember that what we did to the Stag Lord.
Yeah.
The Stag Lord, Kundal was that way. But I just like the next time I have to make a commitment to myself that the next time I run a dragon, he's not going to land on the ground. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to land him on the ground, and I'm going to fly him around and tail whip everybody. And then wait for his
breath weapon to
recharge. And I just thought to myself, wow, he'll just be much too hard if I do that. No one will have fun. Everyone will say, that wasn't fun. The dragon was in the air the whole time. But I think I should have done that. And I wanted to share that with you guys. I just feel like I always fuck a dragon up.
Thanks for sharing your feelings, Mike. I appreciate it.
Well, what do you have to say about my feelings?
I mean, do you want me to say, no, you did great? Because that would be lying.
You think that I fucked up the dragon too?
It was an easy fight. I expected that fight to go a couple sessions, honestly. And
I thought it was like a 3-episode fight at least.
And it's like other fights in Pathfinder. It's like it feels like it's going one way, but then if just turn 2 or turn 3, it can totally swing the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think didn't Donnie crit and then I crit right after him or something?
You crit first.
It was something like that.
And
it just ended the fight.
I felt like it was going to be too hard if I didn't land him on the ground. So I landed him on the ground to be like, no, he'll just be on the ground for one round. Well, one round's all you needed, So, I mean,
if he was in the air, we've got Dry and we've got Donnie with ranged weapons and like fairly proficient. And we've got, Chris slinging spells. Yeah. I think we would have been okay.
Yeah. Why did I put him on the ground? It doesn't make any sense.
Because have you ever seen a movie where the dragon doesn't land on the ground and fucking roar?
No,
that's what they do when they come and scare you.
Cinematically, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
If this was Game of Thrones, that would have been amazing.
Mm-hmm. And it's like I never give him more HP. I never up the AC. I always run it, the way it's supposed to be run. But those are my feelings. So there, I've shared them now.
Do you want to know my feelings on these fights sometimes?
Yes.
I don't think you're ruthless enough.
Yeah.
Do you think I go a little easy?
I think you pull punches when you fear that one of us might die.
You want the Tristan treatment.
The Tristan treatment. I want the Tristan treatment.
I feel especially with like Dry and the King, because we're in Brad, like Mitch, Donnie, you don't really care about. Obviously, you've killed him 78 times. But now that there's history, especially with the King and Mitch, they're the oldest people in the group.
I don't think he pulls punches all the time. I think you pull.
No, not all the time.
Well, but I think you.
He doesn't decide he doesn't pull the punch. He just doesn't throw the punch. He could throw.
Right.
Yeah.
Or he'll throw like a wacky one and just like, let's see what happens.
Yeah. Like if you have somebody rocked, you'll for no reason at all switch targets.
Right.
But I don't know that I like that we've called this out, because now I think he's going to overcorrect.
Yeah,
well, we'll call him out on overcorrection. Well,
episode 126, we're going to have a TPK. So.
Well, when I'm rolling up my next character, I'll thank you guys for calling him out for overcorrecting.
I think what happened was we got on him enough about going after Chris for no reason. Like when the werewolf just charges Chris, even though he's the farthest one away.
No, I was the closest. I was up front.
Yeah, that's right. All of a sudden, Chris was the closest one to him.
I feel like I want everyone to have fun, and I know that it's not fun when I don't know when no progress is being made, but I don't know. Like on the other hand,
if the stakes aren't real, it's not going to be fun. Like if there's not like the real chance of like somebody getting destroyed, like it's going to be
like if we're fighting an intelligent character like any boss, and they see Chris heal the whole party, they should automatically turn to him and be like, "Yo, get that guy." Mm-hmm. That's just basic.
Yeah, push your tar healer macro.
But one of the outcomes in this is, every outcome of an encounter should be a TPK is on the table. Like, we don't know what we're getting into as our characters don't know. I mean, this dragon.
And it also makes us be more creative in how we play. Sorry for interrupting you, Donnie.
No,
but it makes us be more creative how we play, because right now I'm just like fucking. I get range and I target and I shoot, and that's all I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? I will make an effort to be a little more
kill Donnie
in a fight, and maybe I'll kill Donnie. You know, maybe I'll kill Mitchell, because I don't know.
Could we stick to just my characters for now?
Just your character. I mean, I feel like I felt like there was a story reason I to go for Chris during the Gragglebeard fight.
I don't think anybody had.
I was legit worried.
I don't think
I was trying to.
That was fair. I think where Chris got screwed was like we had 2 or 3 like heavy encounters where somehow Chris was like 20 feet in front of everybody else and was just like the tip of the spear somehow. So where it was like the new map loaded and it was like, oh, by the way,
I was leading from the front.
Yeah. I struggle with like
supposed to do it.
I agree that characters should from time to time be in mortal danger, and we've had some of that go on. But I struggle with like, I want a character, like if a PC is going to leave the story, like I want it to be done in like a meaningful, impactful way, and not just to an enormous flame drake out in the Sellen Hills, Well, but then again, I don't know.
But how many events in ancient times are epic and historic because of the death? Right. So, I mean, I get it. I want the character arc. There's a certain character arc I want, but nobody, you always get to pick your character.
Yeah,
arc.
look what happened to the Deuce. I had like fucking 20 episodes of stuff planned out for him.
Right now, yeah.
He made it to 5.
And Bashk Trand never even laid eyes on the Stag Lord. Well, he barely laid eyes on him. That's right.
Yeah, I think he saw him and tried to follow him, but yeah, nope.
Yeah, and
shit happens,
Kritala,
man.
Kritala was such a good
gave us. He sacrificed himself for us. So that was a good, honorable death.
Well, that and Kritala is so amazing that I've contrived a way that he can come back a couple more times. Yeah, because he's so good.
Apparently, we have like Elder Scrolls and can summon stuff.
The power of the promo. So, well, thank you, fellas, for letting me get that off my chest. Well, all right. So I will make an effort to play a little smarter.
Small corrections, Mike. Small corrections.
Don't be like, all right, there's 47 people attacking Chris right now.
Elite template all over the place.
47 combatants. I need 47 initiative rolls, please. We're going to
47 dicks.
47.
47.
That's
Chris is going to get killed by a poison rabbit.
I like to go down on him.
Is that some reference I don't understand?
Clerks.
Oh. All right. Well, let's pick back up our beautiful.
Are we gonna leave our therapy session in the podcast? I think we should.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. There's 2 types of people that I think follow our game. The first type are our fellow GMs that I think benefit. That are the types of learners where, frankly, the type of learner that I am, where it's like I like to hear the game being played and I learn, orally, And then I think that there are also people that just like the Paizo mods that like to hear the story. But for people that run their own games, I do think that your perspective as players is valuable. to other GMs that I think, like me, again, I don't know. Like I feel like I'm providing the service of the game. I want it to be fun, and I feel like it's just not fun when. Well,
and you're touching on something too that's tough. Like reading the rules and playing the game rules wise is, I feel like that's pretty easy. That's like, it's all written down for you. But like making the calls, like what does my bad guy do to these people? Like that's where I would struggle. Like it's an intelligent creature. It sees somebody healing. Does it really go and attack them? This guy's on the ground. Does it stomp on his head? There's like, those are the calls that make a good GM, in my opinion.
Well, and that, and in the back of your head, you're worried about one of us having an emotional reaction.
Right.
When that happens. Yeah. So yeah.
And we're going to have one. Like you just have to deal with it.
And because it's a podcast, we might lean into it a little bit and go over the top a little bit.
Be a little bit more.
Put a little bit more than we actually feel.
I might bash my keyboard into my desk just for effect.
And
it's okay.
We all know I have like 2 or 3 of them.
I've heard that happen before.
It would traumatize me. I'd be traumatized by that. All right. The Sellen Hills. The Sellen Hills, fellas. You're here. There was a drake that made a bad decision and got itself killed. You found in its cave a couple pieces of treasure. You found an Embeth Traveler member, a elf that had a nice bow, had a cloak of elven kind, and had a +1 chain shirt. The new and improved whip is kind of nearby. You're in the forest. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon at this point. You have completed your reconnoitering of this hex. What do you do?
Camp.
Yeah, I think we should camp. I mean, and then we don't have to role play it out, but definitely like all those remains, we have to, do some kind of burial.
I agree.
Yeah, you take the balance of the afternoon, collect the remains of the lumberjacks and that Embeth Traveler, and do you create sort of a mass grave situation, or what do you do?
I think for the lumberjacks, but for the elf guy, I mean, he's at least mostly intact, right? So maybe,
yeah.
And not like take his clothings or something, but maybe some kind of identifiable, piece, just in case we run across this group again.
Like a religious symbol, like of his god or goddess or whatever.
Or the Embeth Traveler badge, whatever they have that identifies.
So he doesn't have, there's no notes, there's no journal on him. There's nothing like that. Nothing that identifies his name or really anything about him other than, that he has this patch, it's his cut, it's his, he got his little leather jacket cut there. I feel like the Embeth Travelers are kind of, I like that. They're kind of like a biker gang kind of situation. So he got his little jacket. It says, Embeth Original, it says. Traveler Original.
Does he have a teardrop tattooed on his face by chance?
No, he does not.
Elf of Mayhem.
There it is. There it is. Yeah. For those of you at home, we're searching. None of us have watched Sons of Anarchy now in about 7 years.
He's Sons of Monarchy.
Sons of Monarchy. Oh my gosh. All right. So you lay those bodies to rest. You either have kept the corpse of that elf or you've taken his cut. And you're doing some camping, and we can go ahead and hand wave the camping.
What?
And no, you guys want to do it legit? You guys want to do it?
No.
Does it sound fun? We are in the Sellen Hills. This is a challenging place. Should I at least do the random encounter?
Okay,
I can do the random encounter thing.
Yeah, Mitch goes like, here's what we could do. He opens up the door to the bus. Camping done.
Oh, right. Just got a mobile inn. Oh, fuck.
We've moved on from camping to we're glamping.
Yeah, we're glamping.
Right. We are glamping.
I didn't think that through. You're right. You're glamping. Huh. All right. Well, let me see what happens for a random encounter. Let's see here. What is the random?
By a dragon and we're all stuck in the bus.
That scene from Jurassic Park.
Mitch's water shakes.
Let me look at the random encounter difficulty class for the Sellen Hills. Each of these regions have a different difficulty class, and that difficulty class pertains to how generally dangerous a region is. You're sleeping. You're sleeping in your van. You think you guys are pretty slick inventing a mobile inn. Air conditioning kicks on from time to time. You guys are pretty comfortable.
Awesome.
Sometimes the heater kicks on. If Knock Knock were here, he'd get too hot. And while the heater was on, he'd open up the window so that the hot air could flow out. That's what would happen. And I'm going to roll a D20. And if this D20 is a number or higher, we're going to have ourselves a little fun. Oh, it's higher. All right. I now shall roll upon the Sellen Hills random encounter table.
We do have a watch, right?
Sure.
Oh, like a watch
this
order?
Is the new and improved.
Yeah.
Look, this is the new and improved Mike GM. You guys didn't state you had a watch, so I guess you're all just sleeping. No, I'm just sleeping. Of course, no, you have a watch. You have a watch.
Yeah.
No.
This is See, you corrected and then you swerved back.
Because I'm not a jerk. I just can't do it.
Look, Brad, in order to put a watch out, we would have had to done all the camping activities because setting a watch is part of the camping activity.
Now, I will say that if a character dying on a technicality will not be handled as well as a character dying in combat.
Just don't get paralyzed. Sorry, go ahead.
Have we ever talked about that before on the podcast?
I think so. I think we hinted at it a couple times.
My dwarf fighter was paralyzed, armorless, interrupted by, his rest was interrupted.
That's right.
What was it, a lightning bolt shot at me? Auto crit fail because, of course, you're paralyzed. You don't get a save if you're paralyzed. What's that about?
Yeah.
Auto crit fail. I also had a ticking acid arrow going, so when I went into dying ranks, the acid would still tick, and then my brain melted.
It was not the best. All right.
It was fine though.
I shall roll now. I shall roll now the D20. Oh, interesting.
Uh-oh.
Wow. I rolled a 2. I am to roll a D12 plus 8 on the Zone 5 table. Okay.
That doesn't sound good.
Lamash du Colt.
We could use a good Lamash du Colt.
Well, the Zone 5 is the Gnarl Marches zone, which is easier. So it's I'm rolling a D12 plus 5, which basically represents the top half of that table. Wow. Okay. All right. Here's what happens. I didn't think we would be doing this tonight, but here's what happens. Let's see. Should I just roll a D6 to see who happens to be on watch right now?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's fair.
All right. I will.
Alphabetical.
Yeah, let's do it alphabetical. Okay, I rolled a 4. So who's the fourth in the alphabetical in character name? Okay.
Everyone line up alphabetical.
Wait, first or last name?
So Dry.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Yes. So Dry comes first, then Mitchell.
First or last name? Well, I'm SS. That sounds bad.
It's just your first names. So Dry, then Mitchell, then Rundell, then Og, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, Og and then Rundell. Oh, it's Rundell. Because then it's Sirio. And then I would have re-rolled. Yeah. So it's
I'm
Rundell.
last.
It's during Rundell's watch. Perfect.
Typical.
So he'd have his armor on then.
I guess he would. I'm going to make a perception check on behalf of one Rundell Joffritis. Oh, he's got it. Rundell is sitting. Where is he? He's in the mobile inn while
He's
everyone
on
else is
top.
sleeping.
He's on top of the inn.
He's sitting on top of the mobile inn.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you ever watched Walking Dead and picture Glenn up there, just
okay. Rundell hears when you're mixing a pot of macaroni and cheese.
oh no.
Oh no.
That squish.
That's squish. That's that slimy
Sounds like a
squish. That's what happens. Rundell gets a little hungry.
Spaghetti.
He's thinking that someone's stirring up a big pot of Blue Box Kraft macaroni and cheese. But then the smell enters his nostrils And Rundell knows that something is wrong. I'm going to make another roll on his behalf as he recalls knowledge. Natural 20 on behalf of Rundell Joffritis. I see it there. After we just got a conversation about me going too easy on everybody, he does roll a natural 20. And you hear him make his way down the ladder, back into the side hatch, into the mobile inn. And he wakes you up and he says, oozes.
Oh.
Roll for initiative.
Oh.
Dun,
Oh,
dun, dun.
no. Oh, no.
What color are the oozes? Well, I guess he just heard them, right? He didn't.
Yeah.
And they sounded like Kraft macaroni and cheese.
They sound, yeah, this is the macaroni oozes. It's a new kind of ooze.
The cheesiest.
Cereal.
I put a 14 on the die, so 27 on my perception.
Damn.
Draco May.
I also have a 27 on my perception. Or initiative. Sorry, initiative.
Mitchell.
14.
Og.
I put a 20 on the die for a 30.
Whoa.
We were just waiting for something to happen.
Ooh, that's not a very good roll from one Rundell. Okay, so show me the windows and the doors and the exits on this thing. Do you just have kind of doors on either side like a bus and windows and stuff?
Let's call it just like a bus. Like there's the front door and then there's just a giant one in the back.
And is there a top
the
hatch?
emergency door, yeah.
Emergency door in the top, too?
Yeah, an emergency hatch in the top.
Okay. All right.
So, do you want me to draw those in?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I assume, is it like a panel truck? Or you got windows that you can see out and stuff? Or how does this work?
Just picture a bus made out of wood and
All right.
I would say, so the front half is more glass and then the back is, there's a small window on the back. And there's kind of just straight walls in the back for more privacy. That would be kind of like sleeping area. But the front is kind of like where passengers would sit while it's moving, and there's windows on each side.
All right, wonderful. Rundell climbs down the ladder. He's in the bus. He goes, macaroni and cheese oozes. You guys wake up. You take a moment to ready yourselves. And it is Og, Julianus, and Tompton's turn.
So you said we take a minute to ready ourselves so we were able to get up, put our armor on, all that stuff.
No. It takes like 5 minutes to put your armor on, doesn't it?
Do you want to do that? Do you want to put your armor on?
I don't know. I was
We're
asking
in the
what all
bus.
could I do in that minute I was readying myself.
Well, you tell me this.
Okay.
When Rundell goes, Velveeta, when he says that,
Velveeta.
would Og, let's go back. He says
Okay.
Velveeta. It's your turn, Og. No time has passed since he said Velveeta. What do you do?
I think he would ask Rundell to clarify what's happening.
Oozes. Macaroni and cheese.
I think I think I would roll a knowledge check. I would. What does Og know about oozes? That's probably the first thing.
Okay,
let's start
so
with that.
he gave you the macaroni and cheese scent, which okay, sure. Make a lore check as your first action.
Right, lore master lore. Oh no, it's a total of 12 because it was a natural 1.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh
So-
no.
That's not great.
I mean, I don't know. You just don't know anything.
Second action, I grab a spoon because it sounds delicious. No. Second action, I guess. Yeah, he'll get up, and I think he would. I think he would move to where there are windows so he can peer out and try to get a sense of what's out there if he can see with his dark vision.
Sure. And you've got dark vision.
Yes.
Sure. Do you go to the north end of the bus or the south end of the bus? Or do you go to the back or the front end of the bus? Where are you looking out?
I would move to the west of so on the map west and towards the front of the bus, I guess. Right? Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Make a perception check.
I can do that. That is a little bit better. It's a total of 26.
No, you don't see anything out the west, but then you turn and you turn to your left and you look out that window and you see oozes. And you see 2 oozes. And you see them here on the map.
Oh.
And they're crawling toward the van. They're crawling toward the mobile inn.
I relay that information to the group loudly and with a bit of panic in my voice.
All right. Drakelmay.
Brian's going to take a moment, and he's going to slide on his chainmail plus 1 shirt that he just got from a dead elf.
I think that might take like a minute.
Yeah, it takes donning armor.
However long to don light armor.
To slide
Unless
a
you have
t-shirt on?
It's armor.
Let's look it up.
Yeah.
Let's look it up.
I think there's skill feats that let you do it quicker.
There are, yeah.
I don't have any of those.
Donning and removing armor. Getting in and out of armor is time consuming, so make sure you're wearing it when you need it. Donning and removing armor are both activities involving many interact actions. It takes 1 minute to don light armor, 5 minutes to don medium or heavy armor, and 1 minute to remove any armor.
So that's 10 rounds. 1 minute's 10 rounds, right?
Correct.
All right, well, good luck, fellas. I'm going to put this shirt on for 20 minutes.
Gotta look your best, man. I mean, they're oozes. They're not going to come on the bus.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm just going to go. I'm going to climb. I'm going to take however many actions I need to take to grab my bow and just climb to the top of the bus.
Okay. I will give you, I think you pick up your bow. I think you move to the ladder and then you climb the ladder and you're now on top of the bus.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. Sirio.
Oh my goodness. So I'm aware of the call out for where these oozes are, but I can't see them. Or can I see maybe Oozeby? I'm at the back. I'm at the very back of the bus.
Back of the bus. You know what? I think it might be 0 check time.
Oh, what?
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Oh, that's right. I do have the 0
I think
condition.
I'm rolling on the table for combat. Here comes my D100.
Don't like that.
43.
43. Let's see. A random object you are holding, GM's discretion, takes damage, ignoring hardness up to its broken threshold. So something that I'm holding becomes broken. So normally I have my staff of healing.
Wow. Well, I guess that breaks. I guess what? Okay, here's what happens.
God, Mike, is that fair?
Mike
is that fair at all?
Mike's very bummed out about this.
That's bullshit, man.
I think what happened. I mean, this is your first time in the mobile inn, and the staff is kind of propped up in the corner, but it got kind of shifted while the van was going. And it kind of gets stuck between 2 hard objects, and you go to pick it up, and you pull it back, and it just breaks, and you're like, "Fuck, my staff just broke." I think that's what happened.
Well, yeah, I'll say that was my first action was, try to, get ready to go. Like Dry picked up his bow, I'd pick up my staff, but instead of picking it up, I break
Breaks.
It's fucking great.
But you know that it was chicanery afoot. Yeah. You know that like you wouldn't break your staff, and it can be repaired, but it's just it can't be used this fight.
Do I have line of sight on Oozeby?
I don't believe so, because that window would be, not ground. It's not a ground level window that you'd be looking through. So you know that Oozeby's down there, but you probably don't have line of sight on it.
I think I'll follow Dry, and with my second action, I'll move to the ladder going out the top of the bus, and then I will attempt to climb the ladder up to the top.
Okay. You and Dry stand side by side atop the bus. Ooze A begins moving toward the bus. There's first action. Second action. He starts climbing up the side of the bus. Third action. Moves into the bus right next to Og, Julianus, and Tompton.
The door was on the other side, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's got windows.
Oh.
She's crawled in through the window.
That's gross. That's a visual right there.
Did that leave?
Does it leave like a slime trail? Like on all of the nice wax job?
Little elbow macaronis just dotted.
Macaronis.
When the elbow macaronis separate from the ooze, do they squirm like worms?
They squirm like worms. And sometimes there's like little macaroni shells that open and close themselves.
No.
Yeah, that's what happens. That is what happens. It is Ooze B's turn. And Ooze B is going to climb up the van as well. And Ooze B will emerge. Doesn't go through the window. He follows the vibrations up to the top. And he mounts the top of the van and presents himself to Sirio and Dry. Colme, we got a split party. That's what we got. I'm going to draw a second van for you guys. Here's the upper van. Here's Ooze B up here. Dry and Sirio, put your tokens there on the top of the van.
Is the ladder in the middle?
I think it's like right here where this is highlighted. That's why I went.
That's the ladder?
That's the side door, but we'll say the ladder's
where's
right
the ladder
there.
at?
The ladder's right in the front, right where you are, Dry.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys can be over here.
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. Okay. That is the end of the Ooze's turns. Mitchell.
Oh, this is a predicament. The first thing Mitchell sees is King Sertova grabbing his healing cane and not like taking the release straps off because it's like all the gear is stowed on the wall and he just grabs it and it breaks. It's like there's a strap. He just and then he sees his ooze come through the window and is just like, we're never gonna get that smell out of here. This is not good.
This is going to be smelling like Gouda.
Should have got the floor mats.
God damn it.
Yeah, you don't have the all-weather floor mats?
I don't. No, those were on back order. He's going to command Bolton with 2 actions to give him 3 actions.
Oh my!
His first to move basically between the ooze and the door. God, this is close quarters. The second action, Megavolt right into this thing's face.
All right.
Not messing around, unstable, just 3d12.
3d12. All right, I get a save.
Yeah, it's a 22, I believe. Let me double check that though. Megavolt is a class DC, which is 22, I believe. Yes, yeah, 22. Reflex save.
Total of 29 on that save.
So you get it.
Yeah, and that's these guys don't look very reflexive, but it's probably because that was a high roll. So I will take half damage on this.
3d12. Let me roll that out.
This is lightning damage.
This is lightning damage.
All right.
That's a 9, and a 4. So that's 22, so 11 damage.
11 damage on Ooze A. Very nice.
With Mitch's last action, he is going to rev up his armor.
I'm
sorry. I don't have. Will equip my sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you need to make an
Yes,
unstable
I do.
check?
I do. Let's do that right. That is a 16, so I made it.
Whoa.
Nice.
All right. Mark the date and time. Episode 126. Mitchell made an unstable check. I'm thrilled for you. It is Rundell's turn. Should I just play Rundell tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, since you got the sheet.
All right. Rundell had his sword and his armor on. He runs toward Ooze A. Second action, he takes his sword and he hits Ooze A with his sword. He attempts to. His +1 striking long sword, +16. Natural 1.
Oh no. So he's named? Do we pull a fumble for Rundell?
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my, grave miscalculation. You critically hit yourself with the attack.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Critically?
fuck.
Melee. Grave miscalculation.
Gosh. This is like that scene in the Tom Cruise Reacher movie where it's too close quarters and everyone's just like fumbling over each other and all sorts of stuff is going wrong. 48 + 8 on this.
And we don't know this is characters yet, but he's one of the few things in here that'll take slashing damage from that sword.
Rundell is not immune. Or resistant or whatever.
22 damage to Rundell.
Oh, that's going to leave a mark.
Big hit. And let's see. He'll kind of try to recover himself. And for his third action, let's see, he'll make an exacting strike. Let's see. Yeah, it's just a controlled follow-up attack. I guess it doesn't matter because this won't count toward the map. We already burnt his first action. This is his third action. Subject to the multiple attack penalty, he will do it again. This time he will do a hit. And Brad, you've run Slithering before. You know a lot about oozes. And so you know what Mitch is about to know and what the rest of you guys are about to know as well, which is that this ooze takes no damage from slashing damage. And furthermore, the ooze will react to this by splitting into 2 oozes.
Good job, Rundell.
What the fuck, Rundell? I mean, I suppose we could have done some.
We knew what oozes do, but it's fun to play it out. Fun. How our characters, we haven't seen oozes.
Welcome to the party, Ooze C. And that is the end of Rundell's turn. We're going to move into round 2. Og, Julianus, and Tomton.
So let me ask you a question here. Would Og sleep with a bag that would have his potions with him? Or when he jumped up out of his bed, he wouldn't have grabbed those? So, there's not, he doesn't have it. That's not a fair question to ask.
That's do you want to roll?
No,
I don't know.
There's no way he would have like a bag or something. He wouldn't have that with him. So, but I don't think there's a way he can get back over there now, though, with those oozes there.
Tumble through.
You can tumble through.
Okay. Let's do that. I will tumble through.
Come out covered in macaroni and cheese.
Jesus, this is going to be so.
As you somersault through the macaroni.
He's going to look like my son at the dinner table.
Oh my goodness.
Acrobatics check against reflex difficulty class. Right. And you move half speed through the square that the bad guy is in.
All right. So that is going to be a total of 31 with the acrobatics check. Natural 16.
That is a critical success on tumble through, whatever that means.
It means like normal speed does not.
You gain panache.
Looks like there is no critical success condition. So you move through the enemy space, treating the squares in its space as difficult terrain. If you don't have enough speed to move all the way through, you get the same effect as a failure. So you just get through.
So yeah, he's gonna slide on through Rundell's square here. He's going to move, and he's in his bag. He's going to withdraw a potion. And then with his third action, he is going to drink that potion. And that potion is, I want to get the name right, is a Stone Fist Elixir. And what a Stone Fist Elixir does is your fists become hard as stone. For 1 hour, your fists deal 1d6 bludgeoning damage and lose the non-lethal trait.
Oh.
So I will, I can go punch some ooze, and we'll start that maybe on the next turn.
All right. Okay. So, seeing the effect that the slashing damage had on the ooze, Og thinks quickly and goes and gets that. That's smart. I will give you panache for that.
Yay! Have a hero point 2.
What's that?
Have a hero point 2 that I can't spend on anything.
You have 3 of them.
No, just one, just panache. Okay.
Let's go up to the top of the van, and it's Dry Colmay's turn. Dry, there's news up there.
Well, Dry is going to hunt prey.
Yeah.
On old B there. I'm gonna, because I've never fought an ooze before. I'm gonna shoot it. See what fucking happens.
Well, sir, roll for it.
28. 14 on the die plus 14. I updated all my proficiencies on my sheet.
Oh yeah. You that arrow hits the ooze. The ooze makes a farting sound and splits into a second ooze, and introducing everybody, Ooze D is now on the board.
Isn't that just with the
20? It doesn't matter that I did 15 points of damage to it.
Mike cut point? Isn't that just for the slashing? I don't know if the piercing,
piercing
unless
does
these
it,
ones
does
have a different.
Because piercing doesn't cut; it stabs.
When a blank ooze that has 10 or more HP is hit by an attack that would deal piercing or slashing damage, it splits into two
does split,
identical oozes.
Okay.
All right, so I still have one action left, right?
You do.
Yes. I'm gonna jump off the roof of the bus.
Oh my! You're out of here.
I'm not out of
Nice.
here. I'm gonna go in the woods and find a stick and come back.
Okay, so you jump off. How high up is how tall is the
10
bus?
feet.
10 feet. So you fall 10 feet.
I don't fall. I jump.
This is.
Did
Does he
you-
have a thing?
Are you wearing a
Diaper.
You
diaper?
have catfall or whatever, right? Or
Yeah.
can you acrobatics to like lessen the distance?
I can acrobatics it. You want an acrobatics check, Mike?
I don't know what I want. I don't know. I don't know know.
I know what Mike wants.
Did you just leave me up here with the split ooze?
He's gonna be trapped.
Well,
in
yeah,
a
I saw
big
they
foam
split, and I
hole.
knew that shooting them wasn't going to do fucking good. What am I going to do?
If
Stare
you
at them?
fall more than 5 feet, you land and take bludgeoning damage equal to half the distance you fell. Treat falls longer than 1,500 feet as though they were 1,500 feet. I get it.
1,500? Would I fall off the fucking World Trade Center?
Let me try again. Player core 421. If you fall more than 5 feet, when you land, you take bludgeoning damage equal to half the distance you fell. Here you fell 10 feet, so you will take 5 bludgeoning damage. If you take any damage from a fall, you land prone. Do you have a feat, though? You got something? You got catfall or something?
There's nothing with acrobatics that lets you. I may be mixing my game systems.
Let's look at the actions.
You can grab an edge as a reaction to reduce the damage from some falls or arrest a fall if you have a fly speed. No. Falling on a creature, falling on objects. No, I'm not seeing anything.
Man, if we were level 7, I would have natural leaps. No, I don't. I'm just going to fall down on the ground.
Okay, so
That's stupid, because you can jump more than 10 feet and not fall down.
well, not Draco May. Okay, so okay, so
Because
Draco May.
athletics plus 12. You can't fucking jump 10
Not
feet.
now, dueling lord.
All right, so you shoot the ooze, multiply it, then you turn around, you jump off the bus and fall down.
And roll your ankle.
Yes.
Roll your ankle.
No.
Torn
no.
ACL.
Now, are you wearing the diaper thing?
That's
No,
the
I don't have a
question.
diaper.
Okay. I'm
I
gonna
don't
remember
have
this because the next time you do fall and need it, it's like, oh yeah, now I'm wearing it.
All right,
No, I've never had it.
I made him for
Because I don't want to
everybody,
be encumbered when it explodes out. I don't want to be able to not be able to move.
but- Okay.
all right. So you take 5 damage, and you're prone,
Okay.
and you have an action left. You just stand up.
I don't have an action left.
Oh, that's
prey,
right.
I
You
shot,
hunted prey.
and then I
Right.
jumped.
You're prone on the ground. What a fight!
This is fun.
I'm having, everyone loves oozes. Cereal.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
If this is a bus, hang on, hear me out.
It's a bus.
It's a bus. So I could have jumped on the hood of the bus, which is like 4 feet.
Does it have a hood?
It's just like a flat-faced bus.
Yeah.
It's just a
What
big,
kind of dumb bus is
big
this?
fucking block.
It's easier to park.
It's literally just a building we sit on
Japanese.
its side.
So when the engine breaks down, you got to take the whole top of the bus off to work on it. This is great.
Look, that Drake fight petered out, but this ooze fight is
It's gonna
going
wipe
nuts. All right. Cereal.
All right, I saw Dry split these oozes and then Night Elf backflip off the bus and like leave me up here. I have a question about Floating Flame, which is the remastered Flaming Sphere.
Yeah.
Can I sustain on the same turn and move it? Like if I want to cast it on Ooze B, sustain it, and have it move to Ooze D, that would use all 3 of my actions.
Well, let's look at the sustain action, player core 419. Choose one of your effects that has a sustained duration or lists a special benefit when you sustain it. Most such effects come from spells or magic item activations. If the effect has a sustained duration, its duration extends until the end of your next turn. Sustaining more than once in the same turn doesn't extend the duration to subsequent turns. If an ability can be sustained but doesn't list how long, it can be sustained up to 10 minutes. An effect might list an additional additional benefit that occurs if you sustain it, and this can even appear on effects that don't have a sustained duration. If the effect has both a special benefit and a sustained duration, your sustain action extends the duration as well as having the special benefit. If your sustain action is disrupted, the ability ends. I see nothing here that prevents you from doing what you're thinking you want to do, which is to sustain it in the same round and then move the flame.
Yep. So I want to cast Floating Flame on Ooze B.
All right. I will make a reflex saving throw. Is it DC 22?
22.
All right. The way that these guys move, he's got a plus 10 to his reflex save. Ooh, and that is a 2 for a total of 12 critical failure.
Critical
on the
failure.
part
Yeah.
of the ooze. And you'll take double damage.
So that is, does Dangerous Sorcery double?
I think it would, yeah. Well, it's going to come down to the language. Do you add it after, or do you add to the base damage?
Sorry, not Dangerous Sorcery. It's now called Sorcerous Potency. When you cast a spell from your spell slot that either deals damage or restores hit points, you gain a status bonus to that spell's damage or healing equal to the spell's rank. This applies only to the initial damage or healing the spells deal when cast. An individual creature takes this damage or benefits from the healing only once per spell, even if it would damage or heal that creature multiple times.
I think if it applies to if it's a status bonus to the damage, then that will get doubled too. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you roll damage and then double it.
So he'll take 24 fire damage.
Oh, that'll do it.
And then my third action, I will sustain the Floating Flame. When you sustain the spell, you can levitate the flame up to 10 feet. It then deals damage to each creature whose space it shared at any point during its flight. This uses the same damage and save, and you roll the damage once each time you sustain.
Wow. So are you going to roll it onto D? And
yeah, so I'm going to sustain it and roll it from B to D, and I think B and D will we'll need to make a save.
So it leaves little flaming macaroni shells in its wake that burn the things it rolled over.
So it's going to burn B again?
Yeah, when you sustain the spell, you can levitate the flame 10 feet. It then deals damage to each creature whose space it shared at any point during its flight.
Huh. But, okay. Huh. Well, I guess you could, and I mean, if we really wanted to mess with it, you could roll it over to D and then back to B, right? It's not, you know what I'm saying?
We wouldn't do it twice. It would just...
We could play semantics
move the total
with
10 feet.
Yeah, because I'm going, okay, if you're leaving B's square, I don't know that it would burn B, but you could leave B's square, roll it to D, and then roll it back to B. So
yeah, and they're adjacent. Right. So yeah, let's just do that. It'll kind of roll around.
All right, I'm gonna roll D's save first. Total of 15. That will be a failure, and then I will roll B's save. Whoa, another failure. All right, nice. So to recap for everybody, I critically failed on a natural 2, and then I rolled a 5 and then an 8 for a 15 and an 18 respectively. So B and D will each take full damage from this sustain.
That's fantastic.
3 failures on a row for spell saves? It's amazing.
That'll be 11 fire damage to each one. This uses the same damage and save, and you roll the damage once each time you sustain.
Oh my God. Can I end the episode with something that I forgot to do? I forgot that Rundell needs to make a DC 23 reflex save to see whether or not his sword takes damage.
Oh, fuck. That's right. God damn these things.
Ooze. So I think I would like to just do that. Poor Rundell. What a bad night he's having. Is it always like this, Chief? Yeah, Rundell.
This is why Bill's character, when we played the Slithering, was completely naked because all of his armor burnt off. It all melted off.
That's right. You were shirt cocking it for a while.
Shirt cocking it.
Then you didn't have a shirt.
Yeah, just out there with my fucking dinglies hanging in the wind.
Rundell will critically fail with a total of 12 on his reflex save, natural 3 from Rundell. Wow. So here's what I will leave you with, gentlemen. A creature that hits the ooze with a metal weapon or unarmed attack must attempt a DC 23 reflex save. On a failure, the weapon or creature takes 2d4 acid damage after dealing damage to the ooze as normal. So the sword will take 4d4 acid.
Oh.
Well, that will be a new fact Dog will get to learn.
10 damage to Rundell's sword.
Wow.
Oh my God.
We will figure out the consequences of that next time, gentlemen. I will see you in my colleagues. I will see you in episode 127.
Hey.